Alright, first off, I'd like to say our praises to Yahweh Hashem Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Stone, and shalom to the brothers and highways and byways pushing this word north in search of truth. The believers, the sisters, the helps, shalom. And this is Brother Irawam from the GMS Jamaica camp. And this lesson is basically going to be upon process, right? As a matter of fact, I'm going to label this one to get to heaven, first you must go through hell, right? Because really and truly, that with everything in this world, you have everything go through a process. Everything requires labor. Everything requires work, right? And the same so in the kingdom, if we get to the kingdom of heaven, you have to go through much persecution, wall of labor, even research, right? Giving up a time, going out on the highways and byways, standing in the cold, right? You have to labor for really enter into the kingdom of heaven, right? So it can basically say labor is in a small sense, right? Is is a word you can substitute for the word helio, because really and truly hell are like one distressing state, right? Something weird on like anguish, pain, right? Those things synonymous with that word. So with no further ado, we'll go into it. Now this is from the etymology online dictionary, the word process, the noun, right? I'm going to skip across. What I thought, let me just. It says noun, early 14th century fact of being carried on, right? Old French process, a journey, a continuation, development, legal trial, right? So a journey, right? You know, say a part of a journey, you have to go over hills and valleys, right? You have to stop at the roadside, you have to wonder if you'll get robbed. You have to catch 3, 4, 5 different trains just to reach where you go. Even that within itself is labor, yo. But we get the desired result, which is heaven, right? We go there to accomplish the goal, right? You have to go through all of that, yo. So if you get to heaven, you have to go through hell, right? And but this more applied onto the kingdom, but as I say, our brothers, OP brothers are edified through this. It says and directly from Latin processus are going forward, advance, progress, right? If you look at the word progress, everyone look it up, but might as well look. It says the verb. Wait. No, the noun slack here, because you know really give nothing for the verbs. Oh, it says progress noun, right? Are going on, action of walking forward, right? That's why even the elders, Rock always say what? We're moving forward, yo. And it says figurative sense of growth, development, advancement to higher stages, right? To be in progress, underway, right? So imagine that, right? So we're supposed to progress in a Yahweh Hashem Shai, right? The process of growing and all that, because what? You're coming in as a babe, right? You start off with the milk, as Ella Gabar said in my last one, but when I live streams, recent one, I must say, when you come in for the first 2, 3 years, you're one parrot, you basically you just repeat what you've been told, but over the time, as time go on, you grow, you start understand and develop, and you reach the higher stages. But we're supposed to continually move forward, right, and a labor until the kingdom of heaven come. That are the goal, you till how shall I come back and the kingdom is delivered unto us, right? Now, going back to the word process, right, and then okay, so come back. All right, it says meaning course or method of action. So going through a process is a verb, yo, and there's so much of sitting by idle, right? You have to put it if you really want to get from point A to point B, you have to get up and walk over there, yo, right? Even somebody drag you over there, it still take a process. Everything take a process. You're born, you live, you die. The process of life. And if you're going to Google and type in the word process and pick images, majority of the diagrams and things we're going to see, them show say is a cycle, right? Because everything go through a cycle now. Certain process you you have to do it more than once to perfect it or to get the desired result. You have to put a particular thing through the process more than once. Like for example, tempered mortar, right? Are basically tempered, right? Yeah, that's the word. Because the brother from the Jamaica from GMS SPN, right? Kingston, the brothers in Kingston, Yashaya in they do a breakdown upon tempered, right? And it says this is tempered, the adjective. It says brought to desired hardness, right? Of metals, especially steel, right? From the verb and it go down, right? It says to moderate, to bring to proper or suitable state. And with certain things, as we say, with certain things you can use one process and get that good result. While some things you have to put them through the process over and over and over again. And in a different sense, to master something, you have to, if you put yourself in the process over and over again until you get it perfect. But even within that, because knowledge is not limited, right? You always learn. There's always something else to learn. That's why even Elagabar even said in our live stream, say, look here, you never stop learning in this truth because Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is unsearchable. Yo. So you never you reach to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai purpose of you being perfect, but as for you knowing everything and being completely all knowing, like the most are knowing everything or being to the level of Yahweh, you're not gonna ever reach a level, yo, that not given unto you, but you have enough, right? It says to modify with to modify some excessive quantity to restrain within due limits, right? So if we bring anything, if we get a desired result, if we bring anything in a particular limit, right? If we get anything done, you need to temper it, right? That's the process. Process and tempered can basically say, yo, them synonymous here because what? You, them take labor, right? It says from Latin tempore, observe proper measure to be moderate to restrain oneself, right? So you want to know you have a thing when you farm and them to get proper farm and them thing you have to do it over and over again, right? When you mix a concrete or something like that, you have to put in the right amount of water, the right amount of cement, right? The right amount of gravel, right amount of sand, right? And you mix them. If you water too much, then you don't have to add more cement, or if depending upon what you want to do, you have to add or add more of one thing to lessen the amount of another thing to bring it to the desired result, right? Mix correctly to mix in due proportion, regulate, rule, right? Exactly, measurement. Where rule basically mean to measure, right? That's why you have a ruler to make sure say you have the right measurement of things. Manage. This is often described as from Latin tempus, time and season. Exactly, and that I think with 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 a process, it take time, right? Certain process take 1 hour, certain process take a day, right? Depending upon what you want to do, right? And something that is well seasoned, right? Usually do properly. Like for example, even meat. If you season meat and leave it in the fridge over time, for a period of time, like you take your time and you add the right amount of seasoning with it and leave it, you're good. Wine, you put it down, you put it through the crushing grip process and you put it down, and then when after a certain time you know say yo it's strong enough where you get that good taste, right? Proper time or seasoning. So time is also a thing where we work with process, right? To stretch, restrain, modify, measuring, right? But so as I said, the main word of process still never mean for the sidetrack from the word, but here on it says a course of action, continuous series of action meant to accomplish some result, right? Look up this common dictionary process, right, from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. It says a natural phenomenon marked by gradual changes that lead toward a particular result. Exactly, you come in as a babe, right? You be a mockingbird, and little by little you start learn how to judge and all them things. You fuck up a couple of times, and then you learn from mistake and go again. And when you conquer one level, then the process start over again, so you can reach to a higher level and a higher level and a higher. And each time you conquer one level, the process restarts till you reach that part where Yahweh Shem Yahushua wanted to reach. Right? A series of actions or operations conducing to an end. Operations, right? Steps, right? Phases, right? I think that I on that. The last one, what's a process? A process is a collection of interrelated work tasks initiated in a response to an event that changes a specific result, right? So that achieves a specific results, right? So it can be a response where something happens. All right, what the process to get it on the right track? Like we going out from how about or that event, but forget we back on the right part is manifold repetitive suffering, going in that furnace being molded over again and again and again till we reach that desired path, right? Now part of this are from YouTube when I image them. Google Slack here when I image them for process. It says pre-planning, exploration, design, quality assurance, feedback. Right. So when you do something, you have to pre-plan, you have to get the information, get the data and all them things that, right? Then you plan or you explore them. All right, full over them to see, all right, which one is the best one. Then the design are you putting it in place, and the quality of assurance is after you whatever you design, you attempt the task and based upon and then you get the feedback based off what happened, right? You test the errors and them something that you see. And then when I look on the recycle, under the recycle part of the image, it says cycle back through for newer versions and new features, right? So as a matter of fact, Lord willing, drop this in our post-production. Matter of fact, I will download this image right now, right? I'll come up with, but yeah, right. So we're going to touch on the scriptures. Hold on, I want to take place right. So, all right. Yeah, hold on. Okay. Save pictures. Save. All right. Yeah, back to this. So we're going to the scriptures now, right? This is Ecclesiastes 1, verse 1. It says, "The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, said the preacher. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity." Right? It says, "What profit at a man of all his labor, which he taketh under the sun?" Now, jump into verse 7 to 8. It says, "All rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the river come, thither they return again." So it basically, I explained, say everything I go through a cycle. One generation come at another one. One pass away, next one come, right? The sun and all them thing there, right? Brothers supposed to familiar with the chapter, you can read it, right? Verse 8, it says, "All things are full of labor, man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the hearing filled with hearing." Exactly. All things are full of labor. Everything got through a process, right? If you achieve anything at all, it have to go through a process. Right? If you get lumber, you have to cut down a tree and shave off this and sand this down and all them things. If you fish, if you catch a fish we eat, you have to go through the fishing process. You get your bait, your line, the throw, all of that. Now, when you look up the word labor, right? It's from the Strong's H3023, right? And it's yagai, right? Yagai, which basically means wearisome, very weary, right? And when I look down in the Gesenius Hebrew Chaldee lexicon, it says verbal adjective, one who is wearied, tired, exhausted, right? All words are wearied, are become weary, right? So everything go through a process, everything toil, everything labor, right? I want to look up the root word for it. it says it's still your guy, so I guess it based upon the Masoretes royal point and bullshit, right? It says to toil, labor, grow weary, to be weary, to toil, labor, to grow weary, to make weary, right? To weary, cause to go toilsomely, right? To make, to toil, to become weary, to cause to be weary. So everything you have to labor, yo. So if you, to get to heaven, right, you have to go through hell, as do all things, yo. Everything. So I same thing with this truth. We have to labor to make it to the end. We have to labor to be perfect, right? I think that is it, right? So hope this was edifying. So would like to say all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, the honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the brothers in highways and byways pushing this word now sincerity and truth. Shalom.